Halo has always had this unique ability to make you care for your allies. The little guys who, yeah, they're not very strong, but they do their best. Maybe absorb some bullets. Now, what if you were one of those little guys? Trade your Spartan suit and the ability to be a badass space marine hero for a lovely 9 to 5 with some career progression and possibly health insurance. I played Halo 3 Yet Another Marine campaign, a mod that puts you in the driver's seat of a Marine and ODST looking over their shoulder like you're playing Gears of War. But I didn't just play this mod, I experienced it as God and the mod creator intended, on Legendary, where a stray brute shot round will annihilate your existence and the paycheck keeping your family that barely survive Reach from having to move to the most affordable place in the universe, New Birmingham. I played 3 levels, Sierra 117, The Covenant, and Cortana because frankly I hate myself. Join me as I show you how I adapted, evolved, and overcame adversity, but also developed extreme motion sickness. Our journey starts with the emotional reunion of the Master Chief and his long-lost lover, the Arbiter, whose wedding, unfortunately, was postponed due to something about my charity falling apart. Shit venue, if you ask me. Adjusting to the new perspective is very strange, like riding a bike for the first time without training wheels, but the actual wheels have been removed and replaced with cinder blocks. You're not prepared for it, but fortunately, the first mission softly introduces you to your new position at the UNSC. You're going to be getting used to the new mechanics, and as long as you remember to take cover, it's not so difficult. One thing this mod introduced is early onset dementia. Without Cortana, Master Chief's mind has begun collapsing, and the mod developer has immersively integrated this into his AI. I'll be real with you, this barely scratches the surface. Don't think having the Chief is going to get you out of difficult situations. Getting into our first bout of combat, you're going to notice immediately how each shot fired generates a Category A earthquake. Short bursts are your only friend here. If you want to make it back to your wife, you're going to rely on them. You're also going to want to stick to cover wherever you can. Not every weapon one-shots you in this mod, but it doesn't take many hits from a plasma pistol to wipe you. I lost my helmet here. It was weighing me down anyway. Just wanted to point out a cool detail. Is that a crime? Also, phantoms will fuck you up in this, don't mess with them. Heavy weapons in this mod slow you down significantly, to the point that using them is usually a death sentence. Not for me, of course. I'm a god tier gamer and god warrior, but you've got to be careful with which weapons you use. Also, this plasma cannon for some reason was possessed by the spirit of a femboy desperate for attention, clinging to me as hard as it could. Pushing up, it was made clear to me that I am weak. A single brute shot is enough to kill you, like how a single insult destroys my entire self-esteem. Unlike a Spartan, we Marines can't use brute weapons as effectively as a Spartan could. So if you were thinking that you'd pick one up and you were going to do some Uno reverse card shit, nah. I actually really like how brute weapons are difficult to use. Makes sense given the size difference between regular humans and brutes, though that attention to detail is awesome. It's honestly impressive just how much changes. Long range fights force you to hunker down and time your shot. Enemies like grunts need to be taken seriously, and nades are far more lethal, as you've plenty seen. Oh, and also make sure to give the Arbiter and Chief decent weapons from time to time. I think when they go down and get back up, they just pick up whatever weapon's closest, so they usually end up picking up a pea shooter and doing fuck all. You've got to remember, you're not the hero anymore. Hanging back like a coward is acceptable, and I actually recommend it. I won't judge you. We can hide together.
Retreat! He's resurrected!
Did I mention boots are kind of terrifying now? See here, I made the mistake of thinking I could have fun. Halo 2 is back, everyone. Snipers are really fun to use. Balancing their stopping power with slow movement and a reduced perspective you sorely need to stay alive. Just remember, you've got to be the one to shoot first. Remember when I said you can't rely on Master Queef? We fought heroically here, pushing through and making ground. Each bullet fired with purpose, each explosion narrowly dodged. And humanity's finest hero? He hid behind a fucking rock with an energy sword. What's that all about? I restocked and picked up a sniper rifle thinking the hierarchy of power in the Halo cinematic universe was about to change. Look at this brute literally shrug off the bullets. Like, fuck off, what am I meant to do against a room full of them? This final section, this final battle, was the final test to prove I was ready to earn my pension. Every survival skill I had learnt till this point would be used if I was going to survive. So firstly, I pussied out and let the Arbiter distract the Golden Brute, whilst I heroically sent several 50 caliber rounds right into his ear. The bullets possessing built-in Bluetooth speakers so I could send high-quality music directly into the Brute's brainstem. Tactically pushing up, I threw a frag grenade through the window to flush out any enemies, allowing Chief and Arby to move in. Fortunately, during this conflict, I met the one grunt who was on the UNSC's payroll, nobly sacrificing his life with a grenade that somehow was so powerful it managed to make the Brute teleport through the metal grate above. I actually don't know how this happened, and I've never seen this before in all my hours playing Halo. I resumed my sniping, taking cover in the control tower, whilst Chief and Arby distracted the Covenant. Jokes aside, this section was really fucking fun and felt cinematic. Rescuing Johnson, we mopped up the rest of the Covenant before air support arrived. Victory was assured, so long as I remained hidden in cover. But like actual cover and not a breakable wooden box like an idiot. Why did I do that? I don't know.
Victory is ours.
Overall, the first mission didn't seem too bad, right? Well, I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna get a lot worse. Nothing
beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
could have prepared me for the horrors I would face going forward. But the name of this video is how I survived for a reason. We're just getting started.
We hit these 3 generators, and the barrier will fall?
A small section, yes.
Hold my wingman and I'll totally haul. Over.
Roger that, focus. Get out of there.
setback after setback. Loss after loss. Made what was going to be a quick and decisive win into 5 years of hell.
This is just a glimpse into what would come from this mission. Where Sierra 117 forced me to learn and adapt, the Covenant forced me to evolve. Combat evolve. Duh.
Beachhead secure, Commander.
At first, I thought that vehicles would make things easier, and I quickly realized how wrong I was. You're practically a fish in a barrel loaded with enough dynamite to tell your entire family whether you're having a boy or a girl. Getting up the hill to the first objective was, well, an uphill battle. The Warthog was pretty much useless. A Ghost had us ascending to heaven in less than 5 seconds, and it doesn't have enough maneuverability to dodge both the Ghosts and Shade Turret fire. I cut my losses, went back and grabbed the Fuel Rod gun and stole the Ghost. Using the Fuel Rod gun to take out the Shade Turret from a distance meant I could focus on the Ghost, which conveniently came flying at me and got destroyed easily, even if it did try to take me out from the afterlife. Makes sense why it's called a Ghost. This was the easy part, because entering the next section had been facing off against Jackal snipers, a Wraith on straight crack cocaine, with a bit of steads mixed in. Two Prowlers and some Shade Turrets. The plan here was simple. Use the beam rifles from the weapon cache to focus down the snipers and Shade Turrets from cover. Then take out the gunner from the Wraith so I could get close. Then I could jump down, focus on the Wraith with the Fuel Rod gun. This was all good in theory. I mean, I destroyed the Wraith, but my poor aim could not prevail against the Prowlers. Well, I kind of kept killing myself with the Fuel Rod gun, but starting again, I opted to focus the Wraith down from a distance, as the Prowlers only activate once you drop down or follow the path that leads you to the Forerunner structure. All I needed to do was snipe the gunners, and then they went down easy. You gotta learn from your mistakes, people. I was afraid of this next section. Dealing with a large amount of enemies in small spaces is a recipe for disaster. However, when I wasn't killing my own teammates, breaching the structure was actually pretty simple. I just needed to lock in. I finally learned to lean on my fellow colleagues, letting them generously absorb plasma rounds whilst I dealt damage from the back. Don't take that out of context. Reaching the lift, my allies happily stood there waiting for me to go it alone into a room full of high-ranking brute killing machines. Even the Master Chief didn't give a fuck, but with some gentle encouragement, he soon got on board. I even gave him my most powerful tool, the reliable cannon that got me through tough times, fixed my marriage, introduced me to Christianity, and then he fucked off with it. He just fucking left. He couldn't give a shit. Fuck it. I didn't need any of them anyway. Fuck off, Chief. Didn't do anything. He just stole my family heirloom, the bastard. Anyways, we made our escape from the tower and returned to where it all began. If you've been paying attention, Vehicles are not a safe space, so when you're exposed in the air, shit gets rough real quick. I'm also not sure what the intention was, but projectiles in this mod move much faster. So as you can see, the Hornet's missile pods are very difficult to aim, unless you're social distancing. It also means the anti-air rafes go from being as strong as a wet fart to becoming your dad's thunderous ass-clapping sonic sharts.
Understood. Chief, clear an LZ, then get inside the tower.
Fortunately, we can use the increased projectile speed to our advantage. Just stay far away and you'll be alright. And as for the Banshees and Phantoms, they aren't too much trouble either. Imagine taking on a big fly. Yeah, they can bump into you and buzz at you, but you better believe you can pump this shit into next week. Use the Hornet to clean up the brutes at the entrance to the tower. It's not a fight you want to do on foot. I mean, just look at how difficult they are to put down with the Hornet. This mod is going to test you. It's going to bring you to your knees as you beg for the sweet release of uninstalling System 32 on your computer, followed swiftly by plugging yourself into a socket. This wasn't that moment, but it really wasn't far off. Hunters are vicious and will quickly wipe your team alongside yourself. Their beams are much deadlier, and some hunters fire single fuel rod shots which are rapid and only take one hit to kill your will to go on alongside your corporeal form. Not to mention the swarm of drones, which in my opinion are even scarier. Because, sure, they don't take much damage to kill. When they all individually can take you down in 3 shots, you don't stand much of a chance. I'll let you in on a secret though. Your friendly elite chums are good against the drones. If you can take hunters down with minimal losses, things will be okay. Go back, pick up that fuel rod cannon once more, and give the bastards a good old spanking. Pushing up to the tower's lift is actually quite simple. The enemy brutes are clustered together, so grenades are going to be your best friend here. I actually almost got through on my first try, which I was really proud about, but I failed to recognize that the enemy brutes had a stand user on their payroll. Also, fear the Mauler in this mod. Before ascending alone once more, I took the time to stock up on some better weapons. If I hadn't have done this, I don't think I could have beaten the next section. It was time to enter the flow state.
It's yours!
This is going to sound weird, but this might have been my favourite fight I experienced whilst playing as a UNSC wage slave. At first, I fought valiantly. Every death took me further the next try. Each experience helped me understand enemy movements and which to prioritise. Every shot counts. That's what this battle beat into me. I learnt that I only had a small window to take a shot before I was suppressed by enemy plasma fire, meaning I had to get good, as some might say.
Miss! Miss!
I realised the carbine and beam rifle were frankly my only hope. Using anything else just wasn't enough, as I simply couldn't shoot long enough to do any damage once their shields went down. I'd be lying to you if I told you this fight didn't piss me off. It didn't feel impossible. And the relief when I saw that chieftain finally eat the fucking dirt after beaming into his brain every 5 seconds. This truly is the Souls-like of the Halo modding world. Facing the Flood for the first time was scary. I was expecting to instantly get overwhelmed. But to my surprise, it was an easier change of pace. For now. Making our way out of the tower, it's time for one final effort. You'd think getting a tank would make life easier, and it definitely does in some ways. You get a big cannon to fire, but unfortunately that's really it. The big cannon is attached to a big cardboard box. Seriously, you ain't safe in this thing. Enemies will cause you to have a seizure because the camera shakes so fucking violently as you get plasma bukkake from all sides. Even so, we've got a fight to finish. I feel like I've said this a lot in this video, but this section almost broke me. To keep it brief, the increased projectile speed makes scarabs fucking horrifying. I died more times here than anywhere else. I've cut so much out because it was like an hour of gameplay alone. So here's my notes on how you're gonna get through this. Use the Scorpion before the Scarab spawn to kill any ground targets. There's a few Prowlers and Wraiths, because the less people shooting at you, the better. Use the spawn animation where the Scarabs drop down from the sky to get behind one and take out its rear shield. Giggity. Keep your distance and use missiles to knock out the Scarab's legs, and then once they're down, sweep in and take out the Scarab's power core. And then you just gotta pray that you can do it again for the second Scarab. Each death required doing the whole setup with taking out the ground targets in the Scorpion, so like I said, the fucking Dark Souls of Halo right here.
We tread the blessed path. In a moment I will light the rings. And more!
Our final battle with the Covenant, accompanied by the Flood, was a rush. I could tell you I strategized here, but I'd be lying. I got so pissed from the previous fight with the Scarabs that I just brute forced it, and somehow it worked.
All of this just works. It's not, I'm not.
And Somehow it worked.
Know this, my brothers.
Of fate you must abide. We trade one villain for another.
I'm glad we got included in these cutscenes. Arriving at High Charity, our squad clears the landing zone, so we can push up and find the Master Queef. Things were well at first. I even discovered that setting your allies aflame is an effective cure against the flood infection forms.
I offer no forgiveness.
The darkness encroached upon us. An ambush we didn't anticipate took us by surprise. And what started as a show of force began to crumble as squad mates were picked off one by one, assimilated by the flood. Our squad leader, Sergeant Critical, bravely gave his life, holding back a swarm of infection
Get away
bombs.
from me!
Before I knew it,
Why are you chasing me?
I was alone.
You fell for it, pussy fart.
The only source of light you have access to is the flashlights on UNSC weapons, and in a pinch, the flash of firing plasma weapons and flares. On top of that, resources are scarce. Do you keep the empty assault rifle so you have a flashlight, or do you brave the dark and pick up a new weapon? Any moment you find yourself a defenseless wreck will be your last. How you make best use of the weapons around you will define whether you pierce the dark or be swallowed by it. After everything I faced, the darkness didn't scare me, and the monsters within it would fall before my limited ammo mauler. Once I ran out of ammo, well, yeah, maybe I was a little afraid. I followed a plan though that I'd formulated. When pushing forward, I keep my distance, focus on the long-range attackers first, and target enemies that get too close into melee range. The range flood will make evading melee attacks incredibly difficult, so getting rid of them first is your priority. When resources became scarce, I came across the remains of brave soldiers who couldn't make it back to their wives and unpaid mortgages. After paying my respects, I took their weapons, using the bullets they could no longer fire to bring vengeance upon the flood bastards. When I found a survivor, I tried to connect with them, to bring them out of their mental collapse, to remind them of the gacha games that were waiting for them back home on Earth. But my self-help book counseling level skills were not enough, and so I made the right choice to bring them peace. With a plasma grenade. Entering what only can be described as a coliseum, this arena would be home to the fiercest of fights. One lone ODST against an army. Did I die? Yes. Did I die a lot? Also yes. Once more does each death bring a new approach that gets us closer and closer to victory. Nothing could stop me. I was in the flow state, ready to finish this fight. The thing with humanity is, when we are desperate, bruised and battered, our lives fleeting, we become the most terrifying force in the galaxy. Also, I keep telling myself. Meeting the Master Queef and his squad, I felt comfort and safety for the first time. We stocked up and got ready to push our way out of this infested cesspit. I didn't expect to find my squad leader, Sergeant Critical, surviving but wounded from his brave sacrifice. Knowing that we didn't have the means to get him out, I did the right thing to do and stuck him with a spike grenade.
God, I don't feel anything except cum.
Did you hear that though? It was fucking infected. Genuinely, this scared the shit out of me. Like, what an attention to detail. Genuinely was not expecting him to, you know, fucking freak out like a flood and scream. Anyway, sorry, back to story time. We came out, dick swinging, guns blazing, mouth screaming, and our reward was an immediate humbling. Each bit of progress was stifled by more immense hurdles. The first boss was this brute shot-wielding combat form. I focused my efforts on taking this one out first, thinking that that would secure us a path forward, but how fucking wrong I was, because a tank form from the opposite direction would ambush us. I had to act fast, take out the brute shot bastard, and then switch to the tank. Once they were both eliminated, I believe we would fight a fierce, long-range battle. And yet, the real threat made itself known. And in one post-death clarity, I found the means of victory. Our job was done, and it was time to leave. Returning from whence we came, stumbling over the mutated corpse of those we once called friends, Master Queef's real betrothed came to rescue us, and together we made our way out of Asmongold's home. What a journey that was, eh? Thanks for joining me and watching a different type of video on this channel. Yet another Marine campaign is a fascinating experience, which blends the feeling of powerlessness without impossibility to create a truly satisfying yet ruthless campaign. It's all done in logical ways. Enemies haven't been given more health to make them bullet sponges to artificially create more difficulty. The difficulty comes from adapting to your newfound weaknesses, and the satisfaction you get from finding ways to overcome it is truly incredible. It's even immersive. As a Marine, you don't have the power to wield the weapons the 8-foot Giga Chad brutes can, and instead, you have to pick your weapons carefully. I even noticed some changes to the maps, such as additional background battles and the inclusion of more spacecraft. They're little details for sure, but I'd be stupid not to point them out. I know I made some references to Souls-like games in this video, but I genuinely think this mod is the closest you'll get to that type of experience in Halo. Learning from your past failures is how you're going to get through this one. Your growing experiences will change how you tackle encounters, and you'll find yourself dying less, but dying is part of the package. I hope this has been thoroughly entertaining. Thank you as always for watching, commenting, and supporting the free videos I upload in a year. Now then, let us talk about what happened to our unexpected hero. After fighting our way out of High Charity, we didn't accompany the chief to finish the fight. Instead, we went back home to my family's council house on Reach, where my wife and her loving boyfriend awaited my return. She was so excited for my return, she readied the guest room for my glorious return and went to McCuck's and bought me a beautiful Moa burger. Just as I settled down, ready to boot up some YouTube, watch Mr. Jack's septic tank, and eat my nutritious slop, I got this letter in the mail. Being redeployed? To Cyberstan.